means that you'll only see me because I'll be the one that's talking. Okay, let's start with a seated position. And you'll notice that Malcolm always sits long-legged because he doesn't like to sit cross-legged, but he can still work into the shoulders by doing this. So nice straight spine, shoulders down away from the ears. Let's just focus on our breath for a few moments. So we've all been chatting, so the breath may be a little bit ragged. So just be aware of your inhales and your exhales. And then just check out how busy the mind is this morning. Are you drifting off to what you have to do or what you should have done? Just check out what's the mind doing and try and settle the mind. And then bring your awareness to your bodies. Just check out any areas of your body that may be a little bit stiff, a little bit painful today. And remember to work with caution. Any sign of pain whenever you're doing any practice is an indication you're doing it too intense. So just soften the postures and just go back to your breath. The breath, the mind, and the body. If you have your eyes closed, open your eyes and interlock the fingers and turn the palms away from us. And then on the inhale, we'll rise all the way up. This is quite a nice stretch for those shoulders, those who have shoulder issues. You may not go all the way up. So if you arrive at pain, that's as far as you need to go. And we just continue to stretch, really letting go of any stress we may have in the shoulders. Focus on your abdominals and just gently draw the navel back towards the spine and keeping the spine nice and straight. We're going to do 3 more. We inhale as we rise and exhale as we release. We inhale rising and exhale release. Some of you may want to take this to a hold. Some of you may want to just stay right here. If you want to take it to a hold, we're going to go up. Turn the palms a little bit more towards the ceiling. Draw the navel to the spine. Just feel that deep stretch in the armpits, biceps, triceps, whilst maintaining the straight spine and softly drawing the navel towards the spine. And then we release all the way down. And then we're going to turn the palms up and inhale the arms all the way up. And prayer to the heart. We'll do 3 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, prayer to the heart. Inhale, lift. Exhale, prayer to heart. I've forgotten how many we've done. We're going to do 1 more. And then release. Now just lift your shoulders up soft, really soft. And focus on when you're in your daytime practices, whether your shoulders are up here. You want to soften them. So just feel that softening. Sometimes when we're stressed, the shoulders go up and up and up. And this creates neck ache and shoulder ache. Just soften them down. And we do 1 more. And then we'll exhale down. Bring your fingertips to your shoulders. We're going to draw the elbows together and externally rotate the shoulders. Just really getting that nice movement in the upper back, in the shoulders. You may get some clicking. I often get clicking here. It's just little air bubbles in the synovial fluid. It's nothing to be concerned about as long as it does not come with pain. Mine's still clicking. And then we're going to bring the elbows together and just reverse that motion. So it's just reversing the motion. And we'll remember we have a nice straight spine and we softly draw the navel towards the spine. And then we'll release down. We're going to bring our arms into angel arms. And we're going to draw the elbows together. See what's happening in the pecs and the chest. Inhale, open. Really open up. Feel what's happening in the upper back and the shoulders. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Going to do 2 more, really expanding the chest. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And then 1 more, inhale, open. And exhale, close. Some of you may want to stay here for a hold. We'll draw the elbows together. Some of you, your elbows may not draw together, and that may just be to do with your bone structure, so don't be concerned. Just feel the stretch in the shoulders. Draw the elbows together. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, we'll rise up with the arms. And exhale down. Inhale up. Oh, I can feel that. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. And then we'll bring the hands to the knees. And again, we'll lift the shoulders up soft. And we'll drop them down soft. Try and make this sort of practice if you are sitting at a desk. You're working into the shoulders. And then we'll release. We're going to work into the neck. So take an inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to twist to gaze over the left shoulder. And we're going to draw the chin as if it's going to be directly above the left shoulder. Then inhale back to the center and exhale over to the right. And again, you're going to really feel this stretch in the, can't say it, sternum-sternocleidomastoid. Richard probably knows what I'm talking about. And then we come back to the center. And then inhale the gaze up. Feel the stretch. Try not to compress the cervical disc, so don't go too rolling back with the head. Back to the center, and then on the exhale, bow your head and just feel that beautiful stretch right down the spine, into the rhomboids. Nice easy breathing. And then inhale back to the center. So I'm going to just change the cross of our legs. And Malcolm's going to stay with straight legs. We're going to take a twist. So Malcolm will have both hands on one side. Those who are coming with me with crossed legs, take your right hand behind your right buttock. Use your fingertips. And then the left hand comes onto the right knee. Take an inhale and lengthen up through the spine. And then on the exhale, we'll twist. And then come back to the center. Change sides, so the left hand comes behind the left buttock, the right hand on the knee. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. We want a tall spine before we twist. And then on the exhale, we'll twist. And then come back to the center. So take these twists quite gentle to begin with. And stay gentle if you want to. 1 more round. Right hand behind right buttock. Lengthen through the spine. Take your inhale. And then on the exhale is the twist. Come back to the center, fingertips behind, lengthen. Take your inhale. And then on the exhale, you twist. And then we'll come back to the center again. So now we're going to do lots more movement into the legs and in the arms simultaneously. Lots of you know this flow. So we're coming into Dandasana. The toes are pointing to the ceiling. The shoulders are back and down. We're working to the arms as well. So open the arms, palms facing to the ceiling. Toes are up, arms are up, shoulders are soft. When we move forward, I want you to keep a very straight spine. So inhale the arms all the way up. Point your toes and exhale. So you should always be able to see your fingers so the spine is being stretched. Inhale, lift. Don't bow your head. Exhale down. Toes are up. Arms are up. Take an inhale. And an exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lengthen. Straight back. Gaze at the fingertips. Inhale is the lift. Exhale is the release. Toes up. Dottie's tummy's rumbling. I can hear it. She's obviously not having her breakfast. Nice rumbling going on there in the tummy. I've had my porridge.
Thanks, Mum.
But inhale up. And exhale, lengthen. And then inhale all the way up. And exhale, release. So feet together. You can have them far away from you, or you can have them quite tight in for the hips. Going to feel this in the hips and the inner thighs. Maybe grab hold of the ankles and straighten the spine. Maybe grab hold of the toes and straighten the spine. Nice, easy breathing. So remember, the feet can be wherever you want them to be. And open the arms nice and wide. Take an inhale and exhale, soften the shoulders. Same flow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale is the lift. Exhale, release. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Feel the stretch. Maybe go a bit further. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale up. Take an exhale, soften. Inhale is the lift. Exhale is the length. And then inhale all the way up. And exhale, release. Bring the knees together. We're taking wide legs now. We're going to right into the adductors. We're also going to go into the inner knee as well, the meniscus. 2 intense happening here. Bring the legs a bit closer together. So maybe take the flesh from your buttocks and move it back. Just gives you a little bit more opportunity to come further forward. You're right on your sit bones now. Toes are up. Arms are up. Take an inhale. And an exhale. Inhale is the lift. Exhale, point your toes. Keep your gaze neutral to the fingers. Where are you feeling it? I'm hoping you're feeling it in your inner thighs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Toes up. Arms up. Take an inhale. And exhale, release the shoulders. Inhale is the lift. Exhale is the point. Lengthen. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Last one, toes are up, arms are up. Take an inhale, exhale, soften the shoulders. Inhale is the lift, and exhale is the length. Now just lay your hand wherever they lay. Doesn't matter whether they're down here or they're up here. Wherever they lay is where they should be. And now we're just going to go a little bit deeper into the Achilles and to the hamstrings by just drawing the toes in. Hoping you feel that stretch in the Achilles. Nice, easy breathing. We still keep that spine nice and long. And maybe walk a little bit further forward with a long, straight spine. Really getting into these hamstrings. You feeling it? So Malcolm may feel that he's not coming very much further forward, but the more you do this, the more chance you have of coming a little bit further forward. You remember, I always say, don't sit in chairs. That's why Dottie can't sit on my sitting.
You so what?
Sit on the floor. If you sit on the floor, you'll start stretching and doing yoga. Walk your hands back. You can watch your box sets like this. You can even have your arms on a coffee table. If your TV screen's up on the wall, and you can have a nice stretch while you watch some rubbish. So bring your knees up and long legs. So we're going to bring the hands behind us, pointing to the buttocks. Feet are flat onto the mat. Knees separated. You're going to lift up the heart and have a back bend. And then come back to neutral. Lift up the heart and have a back bend. And then come back to neutral. Some of you may want to lift those hips up. So lift the hips up, lift, lift, lift. Look forward, look at your knees. Squeeze your buttocks, work into the shoulders, no wiggling. And then release down. One more, whichever one you want. Back bend or hip lift. Nice, easy breathing. And then release down. We're going to come into child posture now. So just roll yourself into child posture. The arms are nice and long. Keep the arms super long in front of you, armpit stretch, anchor the hands to the mat, onto your knees, tuck your toes, lift your knees, we're down dog. So walk your dog, guys, bend your right leg, bend your left leg, just walk those hamstrings. Again, you may get some clicking and cracking, that just means we're moving something. Nice, easy breathing. We're going to back down onto our knees. Untuck the toes and release back into child posture. We're going to do that 4 more times. Feel free to stay in child posture if you have shoulder issues. Or remember, you can always come into dolphin where you place your forearms on the mat and you have more of a dolphin down facing dog, which may be a little bit more comfortable for you. So super long arms. How many times does that we're going to do? 4. We're going to do 4 times. So super long arms, onto the knees, tuck the toes, lift the knees, exhale. Now think about drawing your navel back towards the spine. The knees can be bent if your hamstrings are super tight. And then we'll bring the knees down, untuck the toes, child posture. Number 2, rise up, tuck, lift, exhale. Navel to spine, tailbone to ceiling, knees down, untuck, child posture. 3, rise up, tuck toes, lift, exhale dog. Bend the knees, untuck the toes, buttocks to heels. Our final one will be a hold, or you can return to child posture. Give your fingers and hands a little wriggle. Wrists are being worked here. Long, long arms onto the knees. Tuck the toes, lift up, exhale the heels back, and we stay either in downward facing dog or we return to our child posture. Now, if you're in your downward facing dog, tailbone to the ceiling, front thigh pushes back, thigh back, head is hanging just in between the upper arms, the navel is drawing to the spine, and we breathe. And then we release the knees down, untuck the toes. We're joining those who are already in child and settle here. I'm going to ask you to walk your hands back. Open your knees wide. You can always come on your back and do a nice hip opener with your knees together. Just lay down. We're just going to take wisdom posture. So we're going to go back into the groin again. We're going to walk the hands forward. We're going to bring your elbows down. And if you want, you're going to bring your forehead down. Nice, easy breathing. Some of you have been practicing for a while, may want to draw their heart down towards the earth and draw the hips back, almost as if you're dividing the body. Take it easy. And then slowly we'll walk the hands all the way back. We'll return to child. And we'll return to down dog. Onto the knees. We tuck the toes, lift the knees, and exhale dog. You can also do this posture on your knees. We're going to lift the right leg up, draw the right heel to the buttock. And then release down, lift the left leg up, and draw the left heel to the buttock. I'm going to do one more round. Right leg rising, heel to buttock, dotted, release. Left leg rising, heel to buttock, and then release. And then from here, we'll float through a plank. So floating the shoulders over the wrist, push the heels away, we're in plank. Knees down, belly down. So bring yourself into Sphinx. We're going to lift up the chest, draw the toes together, and lift up the heart. Good. So this is all depending on how your spine is feeling. Us ladies have a lot more flexibility in the spine sometimes to the gentlemen. So sometimes it's appropriate, if you want to get a little bit more into this posture, to pop a little cushion underneath your pelvis. Then roll back onto the cushion, and this will allow you to lift a little bit more. I'm just really feeling that back bend. And you can squeeze your buttocks if you want. If you want to do that, it's quite nice as well. Or you can leave them relaxed. One more breath. And they're going to release down. You're going to bring your hands underneath your shoulders. You're going to tuck the elbows right in towards the rib cage. You're not going to push through your hands. The legs are long. You're going to lift up the head and chest first. And then a gentle push through the hands rises you up into Cobra. And then release back down again. So elbows touch the ribs. We don't push through the hands until we're lifted. So we lift up the chest and the head, feeling the back bend, and then lift up, trying to keep that pubic bone on the mat. So your elbows will probably be bent, and then release down. And then we're going to do one more. So inhale is the rise, feeling the back bend, feeling the stretch of the belly, and exhale, release. And from here, hands remain under the shoulders, elbows draw in. We rise all the way through the Cobra, onto the knees, and all the way back to child posture. And come up into all fours, cushions under knees if you need some protection for your knees. We're going to take our left foot forward. And the knee is tracking over the angle at the front. The back toe is tucked. I'm going to rise all the way up. Soften the shoulders. Remember, the shoulders are creeping up. Let's keep them down. We're really working into the core here with our stability. You're going to feel it in the hip flexors here as well. And a cushion can go under this knee if you need to. And inhale, all the arms up. And exhale, release. Inhale is the lift. And exhale is the release. One more time, inhale, lift. And exhale, release. So we're going to take this to a back bend for those who want to, or some of you will just have your hands raised, or you'll just stay here, your choices. If you untuck your back toe, this will take you into a deeper back bend, so you take your choices on that. We inhale all the way up. And exhale here. Feel free to stay here. On your inhale, lift up your heart and roll back as if you're rolling back onto a barrel. Feel what's happening in that back hip, that back leg. Feel what's happening in the spine. And then inhale back to the center, exhale the hands down, the back toe will tuck. We'll lift the back knee, runner's lunge. We'll pop ourselves back into down dog. So you'll know now that down dog becomes a quite home base posture. Feels nice to have it move around, be organic in your downward facing dog. And then we'll bring the knees down. Cushions again under that back knee. We're going to take the opposite foot forward, the knee tracking over the ankle. Rise up. Back toe is tucked for stability, hands on the knee. Option 1, option 2. Inhale all the way up. Exhale down. So really stretching into the abdomen. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. One more. Inhale, lift. And exhale down. Your choices now to untuck that back toe or keep it tucked. We're going into a back bend if you want to. Inhale, lift. Take an exhale. Inhale into the back bend, lifting up the heart, feeling that you'll need to use your abdominals for that stability. Nice, easy breathing. And inhale back to the center. Exhale the hands down, the back toe is tucked. We'll lift up the back knee, runner's lunge. Push back, down facing dog. Nice, easy breathing. So bring the knees to the mat. Options here, we're going to take a down dog plank sequence for some strength. But your options are to stay in child posture, open your knees and stay in wisdom posture. Sit down and watch everybody else if you want to, or we'll take that plank downward facing dog sequence. So super long arms, onto the knees, tuck the toes, lift the knees, exhale, we're downward facing dog. Now we're going to float the shoulders over the wrists. Tendency now is to dip in the hips. Don't push the heels away, squeeze the butts, let the legs keep you in plank. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. So remember, focus, don't drop into that lower back. Plank is like it says, plank, straight. Shoulders over wrists, push the heels away, squeeze the buttocks, navel to spine, gaze at the mat, exhale dog. Those who are finding it challenging can bring your knees down and have a half plank by just crossing up the legs behind you. We're doing one more. Inhale into plank. Push the heels away. Now really focus on your plank. Your gaze at the mat. Your buttocks are squeezing. You're pushing your heels away. Navel to the spine. And then release back to downward facing dog. Good work. Going to take a nice slow walk towards those fingertips. Or just come to the front of the mat in any way you want. Bend your knees to rise. Inhale up. And exhale back. We're just going to move back on our mats a little bit. So the breath is a bit ragged. You're just going to settle the breath down. Shoulders away from the ears. Tadasana, feet slightly separated. Feel a nice posture. So remember to think about your posture whenever you're in a cue. Just think, where are my shoulders, or am I like this? Just think about your posture. A nice little way to think about your posture, especially if you're in a queue, is to just take one arm behind you and grab hold of the other elbow. And this will instantly open up your chest, which is what we want to do. So you can take both arms behind you. I often see some of my yogis in the supermarket with one arm behind them. You can't go to the pub though, or we can't anyway. You can't go to the pub. You can't get that in. Okay, so just soften. We'll do some nice stretches while we're standing, and then we'll do some balance. And everybody knows balance is my absolute favorite posture. So bring your hands in front of your heart. And as we did on the mat, we're going to lift up. And this time, lift up the gaze. Big, beautiful stretch. Exhale back to your heart. Inhale is lift. Gaze up. Exhale back. One more. Inhale is a lift. And exhale back. Bring your hands down by the side of your body. And then bring your feet together. Interlock your hands. Take an inhale here. And exhale over to the left. Feel that beautiful stretch. Try not to twist. It's a lateral stretch, so it's right down the side of that body. And then inhale is the lift, and exhale is the stretch. Inhale lift, we're going to do one more. Exhale over, maybe take hold of the top wrist and just pull it a little bit to get into a deeper stretch. Inhale back to the center, take an exhale. Inhale and exhale over, and again, a little pull on that wrist. Really going to feel that lateral stretch. And then inhale back to the center and exhale, release down. We separate the feet so they're underneath the hips. We're going to take the same sort of movement, but it's going to move down into the hips. So the left arm rises up, and we exhale over. Spiral up and change. Spiral up and change. Moving down into the hips a little bit. Spiral up and change. And then we'll come back to our neutral position. Back into the arms, so nice strong arms. Soften those shoulders. We're going to have a lot of arm work today. So turn the palms up to the ceiling. Soften the shoulders. So the thumb is pointing backwards. Make sure it really points backwards so we can get into those triceps, biceps. Starting to feel a little bit heavy, maybe. We're just isometrically working into our arms using our own body weight. Building up some muscle here. Nice, easy breathing. And then turn the palms down. A couple of breaths here. Think about your navel drawing back to your spine is straight. Turn the palms up. Turn the palms down. Turn the palms up. Turn the palms down. Turn the palms up.
It's not my 10 minutes of wind.
Turn the palms down. Two more. I can feel it. I'm not going to get any complaints in here. We'll do a few more because nobody's complaining in here. So we'll just do a few more.
We have to let it go.
You have to make some sound before I stop.
Oh no!
And then we release the hands down. Ooh, I can feel that now. Taking your left arm all the way up. Give yourself a nice pat on the back. And then take the other arm if you want and just give yourself an even more deep. And then we'll change sides, arm up, pat, and then the other arm, and just give a deeper pat. And then we release. So continuing with the arms, but this time we're going to bring balance into it. So arms up, exhale the shoulders down, the left foot comes onto the mat. We can stay here or we can lift that knee up. Nice easy breathing. Standing stability, engage the core. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, foot down. Inhale, open. Exhale, soften. Toe can stay on the mat. Or we can lift. Gaze neutral. Arms up. Exhale down. Good work. And then soften the shoulders again. Utkatasana. Malcolm's just disappearing to
That was handy, wasn't it?
Utkatasana. One of my favorite postures because it literally works every muscle, every joint, all your internal organs, also known as fierce posture. You can have your feet together or you can have your feet apart. You can have your arms here if you've got really serious back issues or shoulder issues. Inhale the arms all the way up if you're feeling okay, and exhale, sit. We're just going to sit in an imaginary chair. We're going to try and be a bit zigzagged shape. We're going to lift up the heart. Draw the tailbone down. We're going to breathe.
This is the one I don't like.
The ones you don't like are the ones you need to do more of.
No thanks.
Inhale, lift. And exhale down. So think about it working the whole of the body, inside and out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sit. Heart lifts. tailbone to the earth. Nice easy breathing. Those who are super wanting to do something today, pop onto your tippy toes and find a balanced posture in it as well. Nice easy breathing. And then inhale all the way up and exhale down. So now you know why it's called fierce posture, because it's quite fierce. We're going to do one more. Okay. If Dottie hadn't said she didn't like it, we probably would do one more, but now she has. One more we do. So inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Lift the heart. Nice, easy breathing. Now, if you want to, you can take the arms all the way back. And then inhale, lift up. And exhale the arms all the way back. And inhale, lift up. And one more. And inhale, lift up. And exhale, release. Good work. So I'm going to do just a few more stretches. We're going to do one more balance, which is quite a nice balance. So you're going to keep your gaze neutral. Then you're just going to come up with your arms and then come up onto the tippy toes. Just drawing the heels together. It's a really nice, long, elongated stretch. And then release the heels down. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, release. And one more. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, release. I'm going to do one yoga posture called Parsvottanasana. I'm just going to turn the mat around. You don't need to, but just so you can see what's happening. I'm going to take my right foot in front of me and the left foot just a little bit further away, pointing out to the side of the mat. So the hip bones are facing forward. So working to the sides of the waist here. Take your right hand behind your right buttock and lift your left arm all the way up. And then on the exhale, lengthen. Inhale, lift. That's the configuration, lengthen. So keeping the spine straight. Exhale, lengthen. And then one more, inhale, lift. And exhale, lengthen. And then inhale, lift up. And exhale, release. The opposite foot goes in front. The foot that's in front, the hand comes onto the buttock. Lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. And one more, inhale, lift. And exhale. And then inhale all the way up and exhale back to the front of your mat. Then you go into quite a deep hamstring stretch. Your right foot goes forward again, your left foot comes behind you. Both legs are going to be straight. We're going to take both arms up. And from here we're going to lengthen. Now some of you will need to bend your knees and that's absolutely fine. We're going to bring the hands either to the shins, to the thighs. We're going to lift up, we want length before we go forward. So think about the spine being long and forward. And then once we've got the length, with knees bent or straight legs, hands approach the mat or the calf, and we bow. So think about that length again. So lengthen, look forward, and exhale, bow. And then you can bend the knee at the front as much as you want to make it more accessible, and then aim to straighten the leg once you're down here. And then bending that knee to enable us to rise safely. Engage the core, inhale lifts you up. And exhale back to the front of your mat. Opposite foot. Again, the hips are forward. The arms are long, lengthening up. We exhale, reach. Hands on thighs. We lift and lengthen the spine, looking forward. And then bending the knees as much as we need to. Bring the hands to the mat. And once we're there, you can always have your hands on your shins if those hamstrings are a bit tight. We exhale, bow into a posture. And then subtle bend of the front knee, engage the core, carefully rise all the way up. And exhale back to the front of your mat. We're coming into downward facing dog, and we're remaining on the mat after this posture. The inhale lifts you up. Bend the knees. Right foot back, runner's lunge. Left foot back, downward facing dog. So feel free if you want to stay in downward facing dog. Take child posture or hop a few more planks, and if you want to really work into the core, hopping into your plank, shoulders over wrist, push the heels away. Do not sink in your planks. Push the heels away, engage the butts, navel to spine. This will keep you straight. Exhale back. Let's do one more. Push the heels away. Remember, you can always have your knees down and lift up your ankles. Dottie's tummy's rumbling again. Exhale back into downward facing dog.
Nice afterwards.
And then knees down. And we're just staying on our knees now. So knees underneath the hips. It's going to work into that core a little bit. So draw the navel to the spine. Both toes are tucked. And we stretch away with one leg. So just stretching away. I'm stretching away with my right leg. Nice hamstring stretch, my hands are underneath my shoulders. Some of you will stay here, draw the navel to the spine. Some of you will lift up that back leg. Don't lift it too high, you want to keep your back in alignment. So better low than high. Some of you will take the opposite hand forward and stretch. So push the back heel back, lengthen through the front fingers. We change sides. All toes tucked, opposite leg. Option one, you're staying right here. Engage the core muscles. Option two, you lift up the leg, at that Goldilocks position. Not too high, not too low. Think about your spine straight. And option three, opposite hand, stretches in front of you. And then change sides. It's a really good one for the core and the spine. We'll do exactly the same. Right leg lengthens, lift, engage. Left leg left arm stretches. Gaze at the mat. Change sides. Left leg stretching, lifting, lengthening. And then release down into child posture and settle in your child posture. We're going to, in a moment, find our belts. I'm going to finish the practice with some nice hamstring stretching and some hip movements. So laying on your backs, have your belts handy. Soften those shoulders down, feet together, knees together. Draw the navel to the spine. Then take your right leg up to the ceiling and place the ankle across the left knee. Option one, you're just staying right where you are. Option two, through the triangle, round the back of the left thigh as we lift the left leg up. Feel the back spread across the mat if you're in this position. Feel the release in the lower back. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, hands in front of the kneecap, just drawing in a little bit deeper. Some of you may need a little pillow underneath your head if your head's lifting. A really good stretch into the hamstrings as well as the hips. And then release the left foot down and the right foot down. And then the left leg rises up, ankle over knee. Option staying here. Or through the triangle you've created around the back of the thigh, and lift up the right leg and draw in. One side may be much more accessible than the other. Check it out. And then if you want to, hands in front of the knee, just below the kneecap, not putting pressure on the knee. Top foot is flexed. Just draw in a little bit more. A great stretch if you have sciatica. Lovely, lovely stretch. Getting right into that piriformis muscle and sciatic nerve. And then we release. Finding your belts. We're going to rise up with the right leg and place the belt. You may have an old tie or a dressing belt. We're going to stretch the left leg long as well. So the left leg is nice and long. And as you lengthen it, notice the hip flexes at the front of the left leg, right where your thigh meets the pelvis. We're going to place our hand there. Now the straight leg to the ceiling. For us not to have a bent knee, we're going to take the leg a little bit further away so we can really get into the hamstrings. So the further away, the more chance, unless of course you're super flexible. You want to keep a softness in the back of the knee, but you don't want it completely bent because then we will not be working into the hamstrings. Now the left foot that's on the mat, push the heel away and toes to the ceiling. Remember our first practice where we really engage both legs. So we're now going to go into the inner thighs. The right hand's on the belt, the left hand's on the hip flexors, and we're going to take the right leg out to the right. So you're going to try and keep that left buttock down as much as you can. And now we're back into those inner thighs where we noticed them at the beginning of the class. Might be a little bit of shaking here. Perhaps push the heel away of that right leg, just really feel what's happening. And then bend the knee, bring the leg back to the straight leg again. Change hands on the belt so you now have the left hand on the belt. And we're going to take the leg over to the left. And as we take our journey to the left, we're going to lift that right buttock up. We want it to lift up. We want to try and keep the right shoulder on the mat. We're going to stretch the right arm away from us. And Dottie's giggling again. So apologies, guys. And we're going to bend that knee and bring the leg back to the center. Now we're going to keep the leg nice and straight, both legs straight, both feet, toes facing to your body. Those with no neck issues will lift your head and chest, but only about 5 to 6 inches, so we can move into the hip flexors and not into, move into the hamstrings and not into the hip flexors. So just 5 to 6 inches as the head lifts, and then we draw the straight leg, knee towards the nose. If you lift up too high with the shoulders, your hip flexors will take over, not your hamstrings. And then we release the head down, remove the belt, draw the knee into the chest, and bring the left knee in. Then roll around, foot flat onto the mat of the right foot, the left leg is rising. And again, we settle ourselves into this position. So we stretch the right leg away from us. Both toes are facing towards the body. We don't want the knee too deeply bent. We want to work into the hamstrings. So the further away you take your leg, straighter the leg will be, and the more option into the hamstrings. The softness in the back of the knee there. Couple more breaths. So your left hand is on the belt now, and your right hand is placed on your right thighs, top of the thighs. Take an inhale and exhale out to the left with the left leg. Keep the right buttock on the mat. Nice easy breathing, keep both feet flexed. Push the left heel away as well as the right. Feel what's happening in the adductors, the inner thighs. I don't get a lot of opportunity to work these inner thighs. And a subtle bend of the knee, we come back to the center. Straight leg. And change hands on the belts. The right hand's on the belts. And over we go to the right, lifting up that left buttock on our journey over to the right and stretching our left arm away from us. Nice easy breathing. And again, just be aware where you're feeling this stretch. This is a spinal rotation as well as a stretch in the hips. And then subtle bend of the knee, we come back to the center. Both legs absolutely straight. And again, if the neck is not an issue, we lift the head and the chest just about 5 inches, lift up, and then we draw the straight leg, knee towards the middle. So really, you should be able to feel this in the hamstrings now, rather than the hips. And then release down, lose your belt. Bring both knees into the chest and have a little rock and a roll. Hands down by the side of the body. Now let's take both legs up to the ceiling. Toes to nose. Heels to ceiling. Exhale, knees to chest. 3 more. And then this is the last one. And then release one foot to the mat and the other foot to the mat. Bring the soles of your feet together. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can just lay in Shavasana for a longer period. With the soles of the feet together, we have a nice hip opening. And if you want, arms up over the shoulders, we grab hold of each opposite elbow. Supta Baddha Konasana. Rest here. You breathe. And you can have your arms down by the side of your body if your shoulders are an issue today. Or have them up, clasping the elbows. Focus on your next 5 breaths now, your inhales and your exhales. And then release your hands down by the side of your body. Take them outside the knees and softly draw the knees together. Your final knee hug, so just draw your knees in. Your final roll around on that spine. And then we're moving to Shavasana just for a minute. We need to do the Shavasana. We need to do this final relaxation posture, because we've asked a lot of our bodies to stretch and now they want a little bit of a reward. So feet wide apart, shoulders soften, palms turning to the ceiling. I want to think about the body being nice and relaxed and soft now. So we soften the shoulders all the way down through the arms. I've had a nice little workout today. Wrists and the fingers all soften a little bit. Travel down, back from the shoulders into the upper back, thoracic, into the lower back, lumbar, into the hips. Front chest relaxes. Abdomen relaxes. A wave of relaxation flows through the thighs, the knees, the calves and the shins, through the ankles, and into the soles of the feet. Whole body, just relaxing. So feel free to stay here as long as you like. I'm going to rise up with Dottie to say goodbye. So you can unmute yourselves if you'd like to. So bring your feet flat to the mat. And we'll just roll over and we'll use our hands to push us up. And then we'll come into a comfortable, any comfortable seated position. I'm just going to pop you back onto gallery and you can certainly unmute yourself. There we go. So thank you guys for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much, Daphne. That was lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daphne.
Happy Easter.
Yeah, please practices, guys. I want you to enjoy your Easter, so eat your treats and your Easter eggs, because next week's practices goes with the yin, and with the Friday will all be about detoxification.
Oh, excellent. Well done, Daphne. Thank you.
Thanks,
Daphne. Bye, Dottie.
Bye. Thank you.
Happy Easter. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was a very good Friday.
Oh, you've got the heart.
Good, so
Someone's going to teach me how to do hearts.
Chloe.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Happy
everybody.
Easter.
Bye.
Bye, Maggie.
Hi, Jill.
Sun's come out. It's blue sky and the sun's come out.
Get out in the garden.
Bye,
We're
bye.
going in the garden now, Daphne, for a change.
Enjoy it.
Bye.
Thanks, Daphne. Bye.
Bye, Dottie.
Bye.
Bye, Daphne.
Bye, darling. Nice seeing you.
Right, there we go. All right.
Thank
Bye
you.
all. Bye all. Happy Easter.
Bye, 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 bye. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Meeting.